Today I'm here to introduce you to Sister Ann Kendrick with Hope Community Center. She is a longtime advocate for empowerment of immigrants. Tell us about yourself and Hope Community Center.
Okay, my name is Ann Kendrick. I'm a sister of Notre Dame de Namur. I came here 50 years ago, the same year Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse came to town, and they were developing the Magic Kingdom, and I had some ideas and goals about helping make the world a more equitable, just place, and a place of values like God's kingdom. So I'm not sure that that we really achieved all of that, but that's our goal, and it still is. It still is making this a better place and helping people who are disenfranchised to have a place at the table and to be able to have a voice.
And what first brought you to Apopka and inspired your mission?
The Catholic Bishop of Orlando was new and realized that there were hundreds of thousands of migrant workers that came into the state every year to work in the oranges, in the vegetables, and in the horticultural nurseries and stuff, and that the Catholic Church anyway wasn't reaching out to them, and wanted to have through the church some kind of outreach into the community. So I'm a northern girl from upstate New York, and Florida, hot, flat, buggy, humid. I don't know, but I came and I figured I'd stay for a year or two, but as Willie Payne, the guy that lived across the street from us, said, "Sister Ann, when you get this Florida sand in your shoes, you ain't going nowhere." And so my plan to stay here for a year or two and help get the work started and then move on, 50 years later, I'm still here. Why? Because I love the community and because there is so much work to do. It's amazing that people still can live in abject poverty, although they're working full-time. It's amazing how race still plays such a huge card in people being able to succeed in life and have a decent a house, a car, and safety. And the immigration issues around which we gather it's been a fight for 50 years, and unfortunately, it feels to me like it's worse than it's ever was, even since the very beginning. So, guess we're not done yet, and so I plan on staying around till I don't have 1 ounce of energy left for that good fight.
And what services and programs are offered here at Hope Community Center?
Wow, the services and programs are many and interrelated. I'd say most of the work here has sort of grown organically. You start with something and that leads to something else and that leads to something else. So we don't do just one thing, like we're not a housing unit or we're not just a school. I don't mean that a school isn't invaluable. We began to outreach the community to get to know who people are, and where they came from and what their life is like, and what their dreams are, what their hopes are, and what needs that they have, and so we take the lead from the people. And I mean, this is I think a seminal story for how we got started. We were, we lived in South Apopka, the only white people that lived in the black community there. Not because we were making a statement, but because we could find a place to live there, and because. If we lived on the north side of town, where all the white people lived, people of color would not come. They wouldn't be safe. They wouldn't feel welcome in those days. And I hope that's not so true anymore. But so we moved into South Apopka and we made friends. And the guy on the back street was curious about us. So curiosity is a great human value. Who are these people and what are they doing here? And so we shared that story in our hope and a dream and asked him, Henry Louis Kellum, who has been our dear friend for 50 years, and to show us the ropes. Who are the people? Who are the leaders? What needs to happen? So we're in a meeting we got invited to by him because there was an opportunity to go for a grant to get some money for migrant health, to take care of the health needs of the migrant workers as they come in and through here. Henry Louis Kellum came up and said, because we said, we're 4 white sisters that have just arrived in town. We can't do that. We can't start a clinic. We don't know how to do that. And he came across the room and he said, 4 white sisters and 1 black brother. Wow. Then it was the game changer. Okay, you in? You all in? Okay, if you're in, we're in. And together, and that was the beginning of Community Health Centers, which now has 75,000 customers or patients, has 12 or 13 locations, 500 employees, and it started at a trailer, with 2 or 3 people, because Henry Louis Kellum said, 4 white sisters and 1 black brother. And so the team was formed, and the team was Mexican folks and African American folks and some recently arrived Haitian folks, and the 4 white sisters that arrived from the north. And that built, and that started the clinic.
Who can benefit from the Hope Community Center?
Anybody who wants to. Anybody who comes here who has any kind of need. We're people that never say no. We don't handle that. If it's something we actually don't, we try to find the resource if it's not us, and to treat people with dignity and respect, and especially if it's around immigration stuff. People are in situations that aren't fixable. We can't do anything about it, but we can treat them with dignity and respect, and we can have empathy and to let people know how painful it is for us also to see them suffering so, and to be so insecure, and to be terrorized that every time they get in a car to go to Winn-Dixie to get a bottle of milk, it could be the end of their life here, that they could be deported and having to abandon their children. So I can't imagine what it must feel like for people to live with such fear. So I'd say, we work on immigration issues, we do work on school issues, we work creating community. Everything is about bringing people together and creating a sense of belonging. Belonging is our core word, and community with a big U, because it's, as one of our friends and mentors says, regardless of the problem, whatever the problem is, whatever the situation is, community is the answer. Wow, I never thought about that. Yeah, it is. And in countries that that are a lot poorer than the United States, people are together and they fight their fights and they take care of each other. We don't seem to have so much of that culture anymore in this country, which is it's a very sad thing. So actually, we're trying to work a little cultural restoration. Let's get back to being a community and helping each other and seeing the needs of each other and helping to work for political aims, even though they may not be what I need or want. I want to work with other people who don't have the same opportunities that I do.
Mm-hmm. What are the biggest misunderstandings the community might have about immigration and underserved populations?
Well, the people who are in the condition don't have any misunderstanding. They know that the game plan is to keep them out, to not provide them a path to citizenship, to safety, to being a part of this country. And I think that is absolutely the wrong answer. This country was built on immigrants. If you look around, if we have meetings in the community and we'll say to the people, what is it, when you die, how do you want people to remember you? How do you want people to recall you? And to a person, they will, there are 2 things, sometimes one and sometimes the other first, but 2 things. One, that I'm a good worker, that I am a hard worker. And if I'm called to a job, I do it to the best of my ability with dignity and respect. And it's true, even if they're being paid poorly. And the second thing is I take care of my family. I love my family. Those are their core, the 2 feet that they walk on. Take care of my family and work with when we make a call here because we need something fixed or we need people to come and help, a throng shows up. You know, these kids that work with us, that are teenagers, you know, all summer they've showed up at 7:30 in the morning, not paid, to be counselors for a kids camp here. And they do it not think, oh, we have to be up so early, oh, this is a pain, I'm on my vacation. Nuh-uh. They're so excited to come and to see the kids, and you know, they're 15, 16, 17 years old themselves, and they operate with such maturity and heart, and they love these little kids, and the kids fall in love with the counselors. They think the counselors, you know, they walk on water, and it's a beautiful synergy. It's a beautiful, and you don't have to create that much. You know, they make the way themselves. And one of the young men, one time when we asked him, why do you do this, you know, for no pay? Why do you do this as a volunteer during your summer vacation? And he said, I never had a childhood. I don't know what it was as a child to be free, safe, and having fun. And I am so happy to be in this program and to be able to help create a space for children to be able to have a safe, fun, loving place to be, you know, to be and to grow, because I never knew that myself. Wow, a 16-year-old boy revealing that in front of, you know, other people, in front of a lot of people. Wow, that young man. What a beautiful message, and what a beautiful insight that he had about his own situation and about what he could contribute to others. I went over to him after the program and said, you know, if you become a father, or if you choose to become a father, you know, that you maybe didn't have a family that knew how to love and raise you, but you've got it in you to take care of whatever children you may have. You have instincts, and you have heart, and you have been just a wonderful counselor during this whole summer. And these little kids, you know, adore you, and they feel safe with you, and they do know what it can feel like when somebody cares about you and treats you, even though you're a child, with dignity, you know, and respect. So thank you.
The website mentions the importance of working with the community versus for them. Can you explain the difference?
Yeah. I have to explain that to myself all the time, because I'm kind of this type A personality that you know, can do some good things, but I can also race ahead and take charge of things that really need to be led by the community, because the community is the people that are living this. So we can offer some suggestions and some support, but people like me should never be the ones that are really leading the whole, you know, the whole pack. So it requires somebody with a personality like mine is to slow down, sit down, and listen to what the people are saying. And then ask, how can I help? You know, what can I do to contribute? How can I be part of this in an appropriate, you know, way? And I've learned that from being here. You know, I came as the white horse, you know, rider to champion to save the world, and didn't realize what an ego trip that really is, instead of really being a service to, and it takes away people's power.
What other nonprofits have you developed while you were working on Hope Community Center?
Oh, yeah. Who expected we were going to be developing any nonprofit? So Henry Louis Kellum's call to us to work together with them to build a clinic, you know, that was the last thing on my agenda, on my list, and you know, look what happened. You know, look what happened. And so we got that up and going, and then that's kind of the MO. Then step back and say, okay, as Henry Louis Kellum said, what's next? Yeah. What's next? So what do you think, Henry? And he'll say, housing. How right he was, because people were living in shacks and you know, in incredibly inadequate you know, places. And so the other thing that we're good at is knowing where you can get some extra help. So we know what, no need to reinvent the wheel. The Quakers church, you know, have got the corner on building solidarity housing, community housing. It's like Habitat, but it'll go faster because it will use federal money and other resources. And so we went to the Quakers and asked for help to what we need to be able to put together a housing. And we decided not to build anything that we had to rent and manage. That it should be home ownership. They've built 4,000 houses, building out subdivisions. It's called Homes in Partnership. It still exists. Henry Louis Kellum was the CEO of it for many years. And because of some health issues, he's unable to do that anymore. But the project continues. They can't build in Orange County anymore because Orange County isn't considered rural any place now. So they're over the line, which is really close here, into Lake County, and there's plenty of land too, and it's cheaper than Orange County. And so they're continuing to build. So that was the second project. In the middle of all of that, we founded the Farm Worker Association, because at the end of the day, we're the white Catholic nuns. We shouldn't be running a farm worker organization. It should be run of, by, and for the people. And so we found Tirso Moreno, who was working with the United Farm Workers Union to get a contract for the orange pickers with Coca-Cola, which owns Minute Maid orange juice. And he was cutting his teeth on labor organizing, and he's learning all of that stuff. And so we approached him and said, if we could put together some money to pay you to actually do organizing work, to build the organization of farm workers, would you say yes? And you need to think about it, because yes, not just for 10 days, but yes for 5 years, time to build, or longer. And so Tirso took on that job, and we founded the Farm Worker Association, which has an office about 1.5 miles from here. We're all together. We all in the same office for many years, and then we got to be too big, so we're in a couple of different locations. But that organization is led of, by, and for the agricultural workers that work in this area. And we partner with them about almost everything. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 more organizations. A credit union, because there are financial predators here who offer you the deal you can't walk away from. They used to, it's called the Mexicans walking ATM machines, because they'd go into a store on a Friday night, cash their payroll check, buy their groceries, put maybe $100 or something in their pocket, walk home, and get hit over the head with a 2x4 by some thieves who would take the money, the cash, because they knew the people had cash, and the people wouldn't report it because they were undocumented. And so that was prevalent, and people didn't go to a bank because they didn't have a social security number. We know how to fix that. They can't get a social security number, but they can get a taxpayer ID number because they pay taxes, and use that as the identifying number at your financial institution. So we started a credit union. All manual, all pretty loose. And now it's Self-Help Credit Union on 441, where we merged with a larger credit union. And we make all kinds of loans now, including car loans, school loans, and mortgages. We will make mortgages to undocumented families as well.
How can someone learn more about the Hope Community Center and get involved?
Just come visit us. Come visit us. Open door policy, Come in, we'll show you around, show you what are the different things that we're doing. We need tutors. We have a huge immigration program, and we need people who speak English to be the practice examiners. So we practice with people before they go to take their test. So they take English classes for a year, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, and then they learn all the civics, all the questions that they need to answer. We coach them on their application and make sure that everything is in the right place. And then we send them to some of our volunteers who interview them as if this was the real deal. And they have to pass that muster before we send them to the federales, because there's nothing more discouraging than to be turned down, and then you don't want to try again. And you have to pay each time. If you know, it's $600 and some, and then metrics that also, you know, cost. So people help with that. They help us teach them enough English so that they can, you know, get through the interview. And so we also tutor kids and adults who are wanting to learn to just read and write. We need transportation. We need people that know how to fix cars. Our vans are always breaking down because they're like so old. So, you know, if we had some good mechanics who could contribute a little time and energy to spiff up our cars or help us find a good used van, that'd be great. No, our doors are open. You can help us with the kids. You can babysit for children, little ones when their parents are here for classes and stuff. There are plenty of opportunities.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for inviting me, Emily. It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you and nice to chat with you.
Yeah, definitely nice to see the location.
Yeah.
Everything that you're doing here.
Yeah. No, we're blessed. We're lucky. Yeah, I did come for 1 year, and no, I wouldn't leave yet at all because I love it. I love the community. I love the opportunity to work with them and to make some changes. It feels good.
If you're enjoying this show, please subscribe to our channel and follow our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts.